We've talked before in other shows about financial abuse, especially for seniors. And it's still around, it's still happening. And I see it, I hear it in my community, people I know, their parents, clients calling with all sorts of problems. Yet there's some news on the horizon that may help. Let me bring in here he is. This is the person that'll help. Not all heroes wear capes. Tony's not wearing a cape today, but we're going to
Right.
talk about elder or just financial exploitation in general, Tony. A lot of the scams out there, the old tried and true ones, they've been around since the beginning of money. But lately, I've seen a lot happening with older people just
Yeah.
getting scammed. So what I found was HR 2478, the Congress bill that passed and didn't pass. Actually, it's still in
Ah,
committee.
okay.
It's called the Financial Exploitation Prevention Act of 2025. I'll put the link down here in case anyone wants to read it. It's really actually quite short, but I'll
Never heard
summarize
of
it
it.
anyway. Yeah, it's really short. But here's the summary. A financial institution may delay redemption of funds for up to 25 days if they suspect financial exploitation.
Wow.
It's giving the green light for people that, that are requesting their money and give me my money. I'm going to, you know, if the financial institution senses that there might be something here, they can delay it. Because right now, you call up and ask for your money, you got to get it. You can't delay. They have to assume this is your money. You're going to do what you want with it. But what's been happening is a lot of people are getting the phone call saying, "Hey, grandpa, I'm in jail. I need bail money. Can you wire it to Canada?" And they do it quickly. I need to be out of jail quick, quick, quick. Or, hey, Tony, this is Amazon calling. Um, you bought a phone that is getting shipped to um, Chisago City, Chisago Lakes in Minnesota, but are you getting that? Oh, I didn't order a phone. Oh, you didn't order it? Oh, we got to stop this. We got to stop this now because it's 200. It's $1,000. You're going to get charged 1,000, and then there's going to be fraud. There might be fraud. You're getting flagged. We're going to have to bring in the FBI. And well, what do I do? How do I stop? Cancel it. It's not me. Well, okay. What's your all right, let's just go through. What do you have a bank account? And no, I don't have. What is your bank account? All right, we need to, and then the next thing you know, you're fighting fraud, but you're being scammed and you don't realize it.
Yeah.
So you call up your advisor or you go to your bank and say, I need $100,000 now. Well, what do you need? They don't ask what you need it for, but I need it right away. I need to wire it to a different country, or I need to buy gift cards and scratch them off to give to them because I don't want to go to jail. I think some of these things and I went to the bank the other day with my dad. We would, and I saw a sign on the banker's desk. And it asked questions like, are you being told to take money to send to a foreign country? Are you being told that you have to uh, send money to someone so that they don't arrest you for fraud to prove your identity? Are you getting called by the FBI? If so, you're probably being scammed. And I'm like, all right, there's a start.
Yeah.
But this HR 2478 is giving these financial institutions more, what's the word? Discretion, more power to kind of slow down the process.
Step in and maybe slow it down or, until it can be figured out. To question it, giving them the power to question it so they don't have to fulfill the request right away if they feel it's fraud.
Right. And I don't like Big Brother. I don't like government telling me what I can and
The
can't do.
first thing I thought of is, hey, if sometime I want to take my money out of my bank and move it to another bank, and they say, oh, this guy, he's over when I'm older, this guy's 65 and he wants to take money out of this account, we're going to wait 25 days and I need the money for something now. Or, that's the downside, I think, of this bill, is that, What if they think there's fraud and there's not? That's going to be a problem, right?
Right. And so I read a little bit further because I felt the same way. Like, oh, don't tell me my business, right? This is
Right.
my money. But it's not 25 days. It's they have to have a reason to extend it past a few days and then
Right.
10 days. And
Yeah.
then there has to be a probable cause or some
Right.
sort of reasoning for it. And so what the
That's
bill is
good.
actually doing isn't saying this is the rule. It's asking the financial institutions to come back to Congress and say, here's our process. Here's what we think would be a good way of doing it. So it's forcing these institutions who are raising the red flag saying, man, our clients are getting scammed.
Yeah.
And there's not much they could do about it. So they're saying, so Congress is going to say, hey, what do you want to do? What is a fair? And they came up with this 25-day, 10-day, 3-day type thing. And they voted on it in the committee, 50-1, yes to no, yays to nays. Bipartisan. So nobody was against it in the committee. So I think
Yeah. That's
that
good.
this will become a bill. I really, when do you ever see that level of support in
Yeah,
today's
that's good.
political climate?
That's good. I think that's great. I think especially if they put in, some restrictions like, hey, you can't just, yeah, I think we'll delay this, for 24 days or something. It's like
Right.
crazy. Yeah.
Right. There's got to be a reasoning behind it.
Yeah, I
But,
think that's good because so many people are. I mean, and obviously for banks, it's in their best interest to stop fraud because it affects them as well. Because
right.
the customers don't feel as safe as like, well, if the bank stops them from being taken advantage of, that's good. Plus, the bank wants to keep the money in the bank. They don't want to see
Yes.
the money going out the door. So,
Right. And we're talking
right,
billions being sent overseas or to
yeah,
fraudsters in this country, all potentially preventable. The problem is a lot of the times it's a senior who's alone and doesn't have a strong social network to bounce ideas off of, or the generational thing, or it could be anybody. They're embarrassed. They don't want to. They don't want to say, "Oh, my grandson's in jail," or "Man, I got this identity theft, and I have to." They don't want to have to share that private information to even their own family, who would be
yeah,
the first to say, "Come on, that's a scam." No,
yeah,
the FBI is never going to call you. They'll break down your door if you're doing something. They're not
yeah.
going to throw you in jail for some Amazon order that went
No,
wrong.
no. So, and you and I both know somebody who's been taken advantage of for a lot of money. And so the scams can be elaborate and you'd be
Yes.
surprised at who they can affect. I mean, we're all susceptible if it's they get more and more clever and convincing.
We did a show on it where I went through a bunch of different scams. So watch
Yep.
that if you're not sure what's going on. And you have to watch out not just for yourself, because most people watching this are probably pretty financially astute or they're thinking, but your parents. You might be thinking about retiring soon. The last thing you want is your 80-year-old or 85-year-old parent giving away $10,000 to fraud,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, my
And you
dad
don't
is
think, you know,
my dad has been caught up in that, a couple I mean, not as much, but and you got to watch out. I mean, I cannot believe my dad's mail is people asking for money. And it's not all direct fraud. It's like, did this organization and they throw out, we're going to help the veterans or we're going to help this or children. And, I am no problem. It's my dad's money. And I think it's great to support causes. But I look at a lot of these things and it's just like, they're just taking advantage of elderly people
yes,
who don't have the
yes,
money, guilting them into sending money they might not be up, shouldn't probably be giving away, and how much of that money goes to the cause. Some of these organizations look not too reputable.
right. And and they're not going to call you. The reputable agencies, the fraud department. They're not, no one's going to. The FBI is not going to call you and say, "Hey,
Right,
man, we have flagged your account because of this Amazon." They're not. And
right,
if they do, hang up. Don't answer. You can. What's the worst that can happen?
right.
They call you back. You know, call your bank directly. Go there. Talk to them. Call. Go online, and I mean, a lot of times people get calls for things they don't even have an account on. Hey, your Amazon ordered. I don't have an Amazon account. Well, you apparently you do. And is your name Tony Shore? Yes. Okay. So you live at this? Yes. Well, we have an account. I'm looking at it. They could just use general information
Yeah.
and scare you. So you're right. You got to watch out.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this goes through. So if
Yeah.
you're at all political and you have connections with your local rep, tell them to look into this and push it, because why not? Why
Yeah.
not? You can always take back the restrictions, right? But if we could save some money from leaving hands of our constituents, I
And
don't
help
see why
seniors
Congress would.
especially.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
yeah.
So the other thing that's happening, Tony, is Social Security fraud prevention is changing. September 30th, 2025, the Social Security Administration is ditching paper checks. They're
Yeah.
moving to all electronic. And I thought, well, who gets paper checks anymore? When's the last time you wrote a check? Like literally. I do for like a charity or something, because but even that you could donate online a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I'm like, are people still getting paper checks? I think the stat was 1% of all checks are paper. I think 3% for veterans benefits. And so this is being done in the name of reducing fraud, because a lot of times it's checks lost, checks cashed, stolen, mail fraud,
Yeah.
But what I could see the pushback being for the people that get checks is like, I don't have a bank account. I don't want to have my personal information online. I'd rather deal in all cash. And there are people like that, and I get it. It's hard to steal money from you if it's in your wallet. I mean, granted, pickpockets and all that, but you're not going to fall victim to Amazon fraud if you don't use the internet,
Yeah.
right? You'll be like, who, I pay for everything in cash. So, but I think that the government's really looking at this, and they're trying to prevent fraud. Remember we did a show on how they're trying to get people to show up instead of do things by the phone, because
Yes.
you could, fraud all the time. So I think people are going to be seeing much. And now there's two-factor authentication to get into SSA.gov. So I think the government's trying to improve their fraud prevention. They're trying to get the financial services in on it. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I
I
just
would
wanted to
agree.
bring it up.
Especially, Social Security fraud. I remember back, when I was a kid in the 80s hearing about it and my parents talking about it, and then the 90s. That's always been a problem, and it's gotten better, but it still happens so much. And the scams, this is your Social Security Administration, your benefits are locked up. You need to, I mean, that's a classic. And the Social
Yeah.
Security Administration will not call you.
No.
The
They'll
government
send
won't call
letters.
you, and
Right.
Amazon won't ever call you, ever. In fact, you can't talk to anyone at
There's a
Amazon or
phone number,
Facebook.
right?
Yeah.
My wife had a problem with Amazon misdelivering something. She had to go online and like chat, and it was just
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't.
So no, it's tough. It's very, and they're getting, and AI is making it much more
Yeah.
interesting and easy, because they can come up with prompts that are instantaneous. The voices are much
They can
more.
imitate voices. It can
They can
be
imitate voices.
completely an AI talking to you.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
getting much. Is always going to be scammers, right?
Yeah.
So the message is pay attention and help your older family members who
Yeah.
may not be as astute as you. But the other thing is, don't think that you know everything. Always. I grew up in New York, and I remember my mom's Social Security check, which was direct deposited. She missed a month, and it turned out it went to a wrong bank. It was fraud, and she had to switch it back. So someone switched my mom's auto direct deposit, and they caught it. But still, if she wasn't, but she taught me, and she worked for the IRS, by the way. She taught me, you don't trust anybody. You know,
Yeah.
you trust but verify. You know,
Yeah.
right? So I think it's a huge problem still. I think if you've been already defrauded, your parents or someone they're going to fall victim again. They're an easy target now. Like your
Mhm.
dad, he must have given to one charity, and next thing you know,
He did.
He's on the list.
He has checks, and he still writes checks, unfortunately.
Right.
So yeah, I'm dealing with
So
that.
he's on the list of targets, and
Yeah.
there's a list out there. Everyone knows how old you are. So it's an easy
Yep.
thing to get. Anyone that's turning 70, let's talk to them. Right. And so these fraudsters get it. Just don't answer the phone. But I think Congress is trying to come up with some solutions. I'm not a huge fan of the government's, I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Those are the worst 9 words, whatever it was Reagan
Yeah,
said.
in the English language.
Right. But you stay alert and don't fall victim, and make sure you're staying on top of it. And if you do have any political sway, push for this. Give the financial industry a little bit more leeway to protect people, the vulnerable.
Yeah.
I hate that idea. I can't believe I just said it. The nanny state coming to me to protect us. The government will protect us. But when it comes to single older people, someone's got to help.
Yeah.
And why not be the financial institutions to have that line of defense?
I think
Even
that's
if it's
great.
just asking a few extra questions and delaying it, maybe
I
that's
think
all it
that's
takes.
great.
A few days delay. So we'll see if it sticks. Hopefully 2026, you and I will be revisiting this, and I'll say, hey, remember we did the show on that? Well, it's now law. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. We have a long list of things we want to change, right?
Right.
But I'm I have a bunch of pitchforks in that closet back there.
I'm sure
And I got
you
some
do.
I got some signs and some Sharpies, so we'll get out there,
Yeah.
Tony. But I don't know if this is pitchfork worthy, but I kind of
You know
like
what is pitchfork worthy is getting rid of the time change, the whole daylight savings thing. We gotta get rid of that.
absolutely join Florida, and I'll bid to have it permanent.
Well,
I don't know what,
Minnesota has tried to make it permanent too.
how is that possible?
Every state has
Minnesota
tried
and
to pass.
Florida, typically on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Oh, this isn't a political
both
issue.
agree.
This isn't a political issue. I don't know why the federal government hasn't said we're done with this as the United States. It doesn't make any sense. I think you could win election based on that one. If you campaigned on that said, I will do this. That will be my first thing I do. If I get elected, I will eliminate the time change. Woo! People would be dancing in the streets. And that's
Either
one
that
thing.
or fixing
That's
Social
not right or left. Everyone can agree on that. Have you ever met anyone that didn't agree with that we should get rid of it? I haven't.
That's the reason why I named the Dolphin Financial Group. Have you ever met anyone that doesn't like a dolphin?
No.
If you don't like dolphins, I don't want you. I don't want to deal with you.
Yeah,
but if you don't,
who doesn't love dolphins?
All right. So here, I'll do a poll. Which one would give more credit to a political figure running for office? Promoting or saying that their main number one priority is eliminating daylight savings time, or B, fixing Social Security. Which one do you think would get more people to back that candidate? Tony, you're saying eliminating the clock change?
I'm saying eliminating the clock change because I know it's something everyone will support, and fixing Social Security will require reducing some benefits for someone or increasing some tax. So there's going to be pushback.
I love it. I'm putting the poll out. So viewers, look in the notes.
I would rather they fix Social Security first. I think they need to do that first.
You don't. No, Tony. You're not hedging. No hedging.
No,
you're going with that.
But I don't know if they're going to do that anyway. I'm going with, if I ran, my number one priority would be making daylight savings time permanent, so we didn't have a time change.
All right.
Not eliminating daylight savings time, making it permanent. No more time change.
Yeah. No more time change. All right. I'll put that poll up. Viewers, listeners, go online, YouTube, Dolphin Financial Group, vote, and we'll see. And then by the end of the year, we should have enough people voting where we can definitively say who's right, Tony or I. I'm a little nervous, actually. I'm a little nervous. I think you might be right. All right, Tony, thanks for another good show. We'll catch everyone next week.
All matters discussed in today's show are for informational purposes only.
This show is not investment advice.
Dan Riddle nor Dolphin Financial Group are affiliated or endorsed by any government agency.
Investment advisory services are offered through Dolphin Wealth Management, Inc., a registered investment advisor in the state of Florida.
Insurance products and services are offered through Dolphin Insurance, Inc.
Dolphin Wealth Management, Inc. and Dolphin Insurance, Inc. are affiliated companies doing businesses as Dolphin Financial Group.
You should talk to someone at Dolphin Financial Group before implementing any of these strategies or ideas.